Well, Governor DeSantis confirmed on Friday that insurance companies in Florida were under investigation for not paying out completely on insurance claims. Today, Florida's chief financial officer tells me they've received thousands of complaints and the investigation is underway.
Ongoing investigation, really don't have a lot to share immediately of where are the number of and how many we've got. But look, people are frustrated.
That were just days after Governor Ron DeSantis told me an investigation into some insurance companies was underway.
The reports of people getting shortchanged or getting unlawfully dropped because someone was looking to make more money. The Insurance Regulation Office is investigating that.
As homeowners fight to get insurance companies to pay out.
Now that we need it, we have not got hardly anything.
The insurance industry watchdog, known as American Policyholder Association, confirms they have seen evidence of insurance fraud.
This is something that people need to be in handcuffs and have criminal charges for.
Now, if you believe you weren't fairly paid on your claim, you can file a complaint with the chief financial officer and the Florida Attorney General's office. I'll put those links up on our NBC2 web story. In Cape Coral, Dave Elias, NBC2. So what does a 40% increase mean for you cost-wise? Well, it's expected to bring the average premium in Florida to about $6,000 a year. Now, that is 4 times the national average of about $1,700. And many people tell me they just don't know where they're going to get the extra money.
They're going insane. They went up, I believe, 42% in our community, and they're expected to go up. You mentioned maybe another 40%. I don't see anybody's pay going up 40%. That's my concern.
Many homeowners getting their renewals are already seeing that rate hike of more than 40%.
Last year it was about $1,300. This year it's over $3,000.
Unfortunately, we're going to see sticker shock with so many Florida families this year.
Insurance experts blame hundreds of thousands of lawsuits that are plaguing the industry, billions of dollars in statewide storm damage last year, and rising reinsurance rates.
So right now, Florida is clearly the largest average premium in the country. There's nobody higher than Florida's average.
Mark Friedlander with the Insurance Information Institute says that even more scary is that half of the state's insurance companies are on shaky ground.
Half of Florida's residential insurers are on a watch list from the insurance regulator because of their financial health. That's what's so concerning to us. 7
insurance companies have gone under in the last year, and there is fear that even more could go belly up, leaving many people with no option but to go into the state-run Citizens Property Insurance.
And when you see Citizens growing so rapidly, more than 30,000 new policies a month, that shows us how unstable the Florida insurance market remains.
As costs rise, leaving homeowners with few options.
It will be hard, but I can't see moving or leaving. You have to have insurance. So I think most people are just going to have to pay it.
Unfortunately, industry experts say they see no light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to rates dropping. Dave Elias, NBC2. Well, as the impacts from Hurricane Idalia inch ever closer to Southwest Florida, imagine right now being without home insurance. Well, it's estimated that there are thousands of people in that predicament right now in Southwest Florida. Many of them scrambling to get insurance only to find out it can't be sold to them right now because there's been a freeze placed on home insurance here in the state of Florida.
I'm very much concerned.
Paul Reitmeyer concerned because he has roof damage from Ian and his insurance has been canceled twice in the last year.
The roofer's waiting, we're waiting, and now it's too late. If that storm hits bad, we're in big trouble.
McDaniel Insurance Solutions flooded with people trying to get last-minute home insurance.
So Saturday, Sunday, even early yesterday, companies were issuing moratoriums in Florida, across Florida. And so we've had people call that say they don't have insurance or maybe they just got their roof repaired. Unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do for those folks at this time.
Flood insurers enacted a statewide moratorium once the National Weather Service issues a hurricane watch. And it isn't lifted until after the storm passes.
We can expect this one to last maybe a week just because of the way the hurricane's going to trail through the state of Florida.
Now, this freeze on insurance only applies to homeowners and renters insurance, and it does not affect automobile insurance. With Fort Myers, Dave Elias, NBC2. Reinsurance is simply insurance that is bought by your insurance company, and they buy it in layers. Think of it as a cake. In the beginning of the year, they buy a layer of insurance to cover things like wind and rain damage, then a layer of insurance to cover storms. In June and July, it's the icing, or the top layer, to cover hurricanes. And in 2024, it's predicted that your company could be paying 40% more. And guess who's picking up the tab?
When insurance companies pay more, they pass along that cost to their customers.
Mark Friedlander with the Insurance Information Institute reacting to this survey that was put out by Gallagher Re. That's one of the world's largest reinsurers, which says that reinsurance could cost 30% more on average in 2024.
The hurricane season coverage could actually be higher than the 30% estimate that Gallagher Re is putting out right now.
Some estimates say 40%, and for some people, it's the writing on the wall.
I would love to stay in Florida, but I think the reason that I feel like I don't want to is because homes are way more expensive.
Sensik Kenapati says the rising costs are preventing him and many young people his age from buying a home.
It just sucks for consumers because it just makes everything a monopoly, and you can't get out of it.
Jody Kaplan is a broker and realtor and sees the impact the rates are having on people.
People are having to move out of the state because they can't afford to live here.
According to Florida agents, just over 1,200 people a day are moving into the state despite the rising insurance rates.
But I think the reality is you get a lot of people here and they find out, wow, okay, my insurance is more, my property insurance, taxes, we can't make ends meet.
Ted Murphy owns 2 homes in Fort Myers.
One of ours is a rental income.
And is feeling the rising costs.
The insurance has gone from whatever 4 years ago, $1,800 to $2,800 to $3,400. So of course it's affecting everything.
He says another rate hike could force him out.
When everything's fixed up, maybe we'll think about selling,
Most homeowners have already seen the rates double. The average cost for home insurance in Florida now, $6,000 a year. Dave Elias, NBC2. Well, if a private insurance company gets hit with a big storm and they can't afford to pay out, they can go bankrupt. But state-run Citizens can't go belly up. So that leaves you and me picking up the tab.
It's the back of every Floridian's mind, of the rates going up for sure.
Governor Ron DeSantis warned me back in March that Citizens simply doesn't have enough money to cover its more than 1.3 million policies.
And I think, as most people know, Citizens has not been solvent. If you did have a major hurricane hit with a lot of Citizens property holders, it would not have enough to pay out.
Well, currently, Citizens has about $4.8 billion in the bank. Adelia claims are expected to take a big chunk of it, since Citizens is the largest insurer in the Big Bend area where the storm made landfall.
The analysis prior to the storm showed Citizens had more than 190,000 policies in the counties that would receive direct impacts from Adelia. If it was a worst case scenario, it would be a $72 billion loss for Citizens. That's substantial.
And while the loss isn't that great, the only way the state-run company could pay out is to charge all of us a hurricane tax.
And so that's the big issue, is we want fewer and fewer people to be in Citizens because of the problem it poses, not just for Citizens policyholders, but for Floridians everywhere.
That insurance tax could also be placed on car and renters insurance.
There's that old adage, you get what you pay for, right? So, I'd rather pay a little more, even if there's a hurricane tax, than moving back to Ohio.
It last happened in 2004 when 10 hurricanes hit the state, and Florida residents were stuck paying off Citizens' $1.7 billion tab through 2015. Now, state-run Citizens realizes how vulnerable it is. It recently asked the state for a 12% increase, but that was rejected. And while it may save policyholders money, it could end up costing all of us in the long run. In Matlacha, Dave Elias, NBC2.